Good morning. I'm Dr. Joyce King. I teach at Georgia State University, and I'm the president of the Academy for Diaspora Literacy. Our title for this panel is Education for Black Liberation Pedagogy in the Pan-African Black Intellectual Tradition. I'll be talking about the what, how, and why of Black Pan-African liberation pedagogy, which builds collective consciousness, commitment, and agency within present and future generations to support our struggle for liberation and nationhood. It is militant, revolutionary pedagogy centered in African epistemology, which means in the African worldview, knowledge is not merely a right. With knowledge comes responsibility to care for others and the world. Knowledge in African epistemology is the path to becoming fully human and humane. The Pan-African Black intellectual tradition includes the critical thought and perspectives of African American, African, and diaspora intellectuals like W.B. Du Bois, C.L.R. James from Trinidad, Anna Julia Cooper, Sylvia Wynter from Jamaica, Carter G. Woodson, Asa Hilliard, Molefi Asante, Francis Cress Welsing, Toni Morrison, Paul Robeson, Tony Browder, Bob Marley, Kwame Nkrumah, Ngugi wa Thiong'o. I would include James Brown, as well as the Honorable Marcus Garvey, among many others. Black cultural and intellectual production includes Black thought expressed in our proverbs, songs, dance, theater, and cultural practice. People of African ancestry from all walks of life have been and are producers of knowledge and ideas. Our intellectual tradition, therefore, teaches not only what counts as knowledge, but also whose knowledge and ideas count. The ideas, activities, and social and political vision of ordinary men and women, not only those who are formally educated, middle class, or elites, are intellectual contributions. And this is important for our children to learn and understand. Grassroots philosophy, that is, the wisdom and wit of everyday people in the Black arts tradition, is also included. For example, Junebug Jabbo Jones, the mythical character that the artist John O'Neill created, expresses grassroots philosophy, and he was a hero. He was known to say, "Don't start me to talking, or I'll tell everything I know." John O'Neill performed this character on the stage. The late John O'Neill emphasized story and storytelling and metaphor, the way art contributes to the way people live and solve problems. And with Dr. Doris Derby, John O'Neill created the Free Southern Theater. He said, "Our job is to produce art that supports and encourages people who are trying to make change." Langston Hughes earlier wrote about Jesse B. Simple, another fictional character who was known as the most famous character in Black fiction. He showed greatness among the common people, another tool for social change. Simple was an ordinary Harlem resident that Langston Hughes wrote about, who refused to be defeated by oppression. Black music is another aspect of the Black intellectual tradition. Black music holds us together as a people, according to Dr. Bernice Johnson Reagan. When she was visiting the Maori people in New Zealand, discussing the significance of land to Maori identity, Dr. Reagan said, "African Americans are a people held together by song rather than by territory." The blues in the African American music tradition gives voice to Black cultural ideals in a spoken record of Black suffering and transcendence that remains relevant and instructive, but is not usually taught in schools. Think about the music in your community and whether or not this same idea applies. The blues, a Black point of view and Black working class thought in song, is a literary and musical form and also a basic philosophy. How to act, solve problems, and behave is what the blues teaches us. When I get ready to study the mystical aspect of Black people, I go to the blues. Then I feel like I'm in touch with the root of Black people. The blues constitutes a unique social vision and critique of injustice that has been marginalized, if not totally erased, from history and education. We could say the same thing about gospel music. Here is John Lee Hooker, consummate blues artist. African language is another aspect of the Black intellectual tradition, and it can serve as a pedagogy for historical consciousness and recovering group memory. We use Songhai language study for culturally informed memory work of the diaspora, that is, diaspora literacy, to liberate our consciousness from society's myths and to rewrite school knowledge for human freedom. In that way, we do not start our story with slavery. In my work with Dr. Hasimi Maiga, Paramount Chief of Songhai in West Africa, we teach Songhai language to resist anti-Blackness. The Songhai people say the sun is black when it's at its highest point in the day, Wanabibi. When the earth is ready for planting, they say Labu Bibi, black earth. And when they want fresh, clean water from the deepest part of the Niger River, they ask for Haribibi, black water. In the Songhai cosmology, they also say Chini Bibi. In the beginning was the black word, and the black word has the power to make things move. We discovered these aspects of Songhai language working with teachers in the United States, but Dr. Maiga had no knowledge because it was his culture that Blackness was significantly positive in the Songhai language as compared to the negative way that Blackness is connoted in the English language. So contrary to what many people believe, the lives of African Americans continue to be shaped and informed by African epistemology. People, including teachers and scholars, mistakenly believe that African Americans have no distinct cultural heritage intact as a foundation for excellence and resilience. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King had said, when the history books are written in future generations, the historians will have to pause and say, there lived a great people, a Black people, who injected new meaning and dignity into the veins of civilization. This is our challenge and our overwhelming responsibility, which Black liberation pedagogy teaches our children. Dr. Ivanilda Amado, my former student who studied with me at Georgia State, went back home to Salvador Bahia, Brazil, and she is teaching Black liberation pedagogy to the children there who also suffer from anti-Black racism. So I'm going to close with 3 of the 6 standards for learning and being grounded in African American culture that I developed in 1974. It's very important to recognize that we have a scholarly tradition for this pedagogy that teachers and community members can rely on for Black liberation pedagogy. Standard 1, enable students to recognize and affirm their collective identification with people of African descent. Standard 2, give students an enhanced sense of mutual responsibility for their own learning and the learning of their peers enhance their commitment to use their heritage knowledge and school learning for the benefit of their community, the society, and humanity. Standard 3, include a humanistic, personally meaningful focus in all areas of the curriculum. This requires use of traditional knowledge, values, and skills of the African American cultural ethos, such as proverbial wisdom, metaphoric language, and other skills of African orality, public performance, artistic expression in music, dance, dramatic and visual art forms, and humanistic values in math and science. For the other standards, you could check the article, The Purpose of Schooling for African American Children, Including Cultural Knowledge, in the book Teaching Diverse Populations, Formulating a Knowledge Base, that I edited with Dr. Ella Hollins and Dr. Warren Heyman. And I'm going to close with two poems. The first by Marie Evans, Speak Truth to the People. Speak truth to the people. To identify the enemy is to free the mind. A free mind has no need to scream. A free mind is ready for other things, to build Black schools, to build Black children, to build Black minds.
Dramatic walk to the microphone.
Hey, Black child by county color. Hey, Black child, do you know who you are? Who you really are? Do you know you can be where you want to be if you try to be what you can be? Hey, Black child, do you know where you're going? Where you're really going? Do you know you can learn what you want to learn if you try to learn what you can learn? Hey, Black child, do you know you are strong? I mean, really strong? Do you know you can do what you want to do if you try to do what you can do? Hey, Black child, be what you can be, learn what you must learn, do what you can do, and tomorrow your nation will be what you want it to be.
Thank you.